the stat guy. Huh?
That's a possibility.
What's that? I don't know where they come from. To be honest with you, I just get them. Ready? Okay. First of all, I thought that was give credit to Colorado State. We knew they were a good football team. We knew that they would come in here and play, and they did exactly what we thought they would do as far as their effort. Our guys played tonight. They played well. We had an emphasis of stopping the run, and we were able to do that. At the same time, still want to improve in the back end on the defensive side as well. Thought we ran the ball well, threw the ball well, had some good balance in the first half, second half. Still areas to improve, obviously. So, and then special teams, we had some big plays on special teams, some good change of field. Thought those guys did a good job. So, I mean, it was better than last week, and that was the goal. How are we going to go from week 1 to week 2 was the bottom line. That was the main thing. So we were better this game than we were last game, and that'll be the mentality again. Where do we go from the second game to the third game? Very happy for Matt Miller. For any time you break a record in anything, especially you break a record with a player like Austin Pettis, he's able to do that. That's very significant. So very proud of him. Jay, heard him right there talk about. Thought Jay played well tonight. Thought Grant played well tonight. And then I thought, on the up front, the D line and those linebackers in the run game, they did exactly what we needed them to do. Good to be back on the blue. That was exciting. I thought the fans were great. It looked like a sea of blue to me in every pocket, every seat that was there. So that was exciting to have that. Bronco Nation was in full effect. So whatever happened there at the end there, that place was rocking, and it was definitely an advantage for us. And you can tell it. I still believe this teams come in there, and you see the color schemes, you see the fans, the interaction that we have throughout the games. It makes a huge difference. At the end of the game, went in there and, like Jay was talking about, addressed the team, talked about the things that we needed, very similar to what we talked last week. We got 24 hours to celebrate, and then we move on. But I like the fact that we got a win, like the fact that these guys went out and worked and deserved the opportunity to go win. Things went our way, and we were able to do it at home on the blue with that type of fan base. Was exciting tonight. So good start for us, in our conference as well. And that's the goal when it's all said and done. So we came out second game against a good team that just had a big week, beating a Pac-12 team, and we're able to get the win at home. So that's a good start for us in our quest of trying to win a championship here as well. And with that, we'll open it up for questions.
Second game in a row where you guys really leaned on Jay. What have you seen from Jay in these first 2 games, and just the workload you guys have put on him and how he's responded?
Yeah, I think we would be stupid not to put the work on him. All right, he's a good player, and that's what good players want. Good players want to have the ball in their hands, and we can talk about all we want. Next week, we'll put it in Jay's hands. The ball will be in his hands again. So, I don't know. I think it'd be idiotic of us to not utilize Jay and try to spread the ball around just because we say we need to. Bottom line.
Coach Grant obviously played a bigger role in the running game today. Can you talk about how important that was for you guys? I think you picked up 6 first downs, but also the shot that he took there. It looked like he may have been knocked out at least for a little while there. What did you see, and how comfortable were you with him getting back in the game?
Well, I saw Grant go out there and make plays. There were some designed runs in there, and then he made plays on his own in some scramble situations. Decisions down the field were good. He threw it a couple times. But the one thing you see with Grant, the guy can throw the ball, and then you have the ability to go run the ball down the field. And then he's a tough guy. You get in there and took a shot, talked to him, and, he felt good, felt like he was ready to get back in there. Guys running hard, guys are making always want to take shots on quarterbacks. I think the guy was ejected, right? Yeah, so he was ejected from the game there. But those guys do a great job of evaluating, and Grant was ready to get back in the game, and you see his performance from that point on. I mean, I don't know what his stats were, but threw the ball down the middle and threw it to Matt, and that was one thing we tried to get done tonight, was try to get Matt Miller down the middle of the field, and he was able to do that.
Coach, going off of Matt Miller, I mean, you mentioned he broke the record. I mean, what makes this kid so special, and how important is it to have the ball in his hands?
Well, I think the one thing is he probably maybe deep down cares about the record, but on the surface, he doesn't care about that. He's just trying to play. He's trying to play with his team. He's trying to be the best teammate he can be. He's a detailed guy. You know, when you sit there in meetings and you ask him questions and he's got the answer and he talks to the guys, and even out there in the field, he's like, let's finish. Let's get this thing done. Let's get off the field. And that's exactly what they did. So he's one of the smarter guys, and maybe one of the smartest guys I've been around when it comes to just understanding the game and kind of everything that goes along with it, and then is calm enough in situations to really apply it, and then to also go out there and make plays. So, you know, he's a guy that's got, you know, the skills and kind of the total package, and it's not a surprise that he's able to have this type of record.
Coach, you mentioned stopping the run. 28 total rushing yards, second week in a row you're able to do that. If you could just talk about that, and then I guess what did you see in the fourth quarter there when Colorado State scored some points?
Well, we did stop the run, you know, and those two backs now, that was a big challenge. You watched the Colorado game, and everybody knew that's what they were going to come out and do. And, you know, they did a good job of preparing themselves in the pass game. You know, those coaches are good coaches. They knew that we would try to stop the run, and I think we've voiced that throughout the week, so it wasn't a surprise. You know, the one thing about it, you know, in the second half they're not going to let up, you know, and the one thing, too, we didn't let up in there, but we got to go execute better in the second half. We got to find ways just to put it away and not make it close, not even put it into where, hey, if they do this and do that and score, you know, this is what we have to do. But to their credit, they kept playing. They made some big plays. We had some guys come in there and fill some roles, and counted on those guys to come in and kind of, you know, make plays for us when guys went down, and they were able to do it, you know, and that's what you ask guys to do, kind of get in there, next man up, and it showed up tonight.
You said that deep down maybe the record means something to Matt Miller. What is deep down your first career win as the head coach of the Boise State football team on blue mean?
Yeah, you know, it's cool. It really is. I mean, it's probably more, you know, to be honest with you, a little bit more emotional, you know, before the game. You know, just being back on the blue. And I don't know, it's just being back on the blue, to be honest with you. You know, that's a special place, and you look up there and the place is packed. You're on the blue. Everybody's in blue. You know, there's something special about it. As the game went on, man, we're playing. And at the end of the game, you know, there's a lot of emotions and there's a lot of thoughts that go through your head, and you're just like, how do we take it from this point and make us and get better? And that was really kind of my talk with the team. And I really want that mentality. I mean, it's significant and it's important and all that, and there's some personal things to it. But as a team, it's a win, and we got to go play again. You know, we have another team coming up, so we got to focus on that and find ways this next week to get better.
On the inverse of stopping the run, Garrett Grayson threw for over 400 yards. It seemed like there was a bit of a revolving door at the corner spot. Are you concerned about depth there right now?
Yeah, you know, but I'll know more about it. You know, when we get in tomorrow's practice, you know, we get a chance to evaluate everybody and see where they're at, and you know, there's not a whole lot of time right now before we get back to work. But yeah, you know, the guys are going to have to step up. So you know, we've got some depth issues there that showed up tonight. But the one thing we plan for that going into the game, and it's like if this happens, we do this. This happens, we do this. I mean, it's, you know, you're talking about moving some guys around now. If one more guy gets dinged, and it's going to look a whole lot different back there. But, you know, that's part of the plan, and guys understand it. So you cross-train throughout the week. We'll have to continue to do that. You know, hopefully Dante is feeling better. We get him back in the mix. Don't know about Clee. You know, we'll find out more about him. But, you know, that he's hopefully healthy, ready to rock and roll this week, and then we go from there. We got to get back at full strength. And that's probably one of the things I think with any team is – how healthy can you stay throughout a season says a lot about the type of success you're going to have.
I know you said with Jay, you know, be silly not to give him the ball. At the same time, you guys give him the ball, I think it's 69 times or something in the first 2 weeks. Is there a limit? Do you need to find, you know, at the end of the game, maybe find a drive or two you can take away from him and limit how much abuse he takes out there?
Yeah, I think, you know, again, I think in those situations, you know, he's the guy that wants the ball, and then we want to get the ball in his hands. You know, Yeah, I mean, I understand the question. And bottom line is, you know, we're going to do what we have to do, and we prepare like that throughout the week. And if we thought that was something that was going to hurt our football team, then we wouldn't do it. That simple.
Did Grant undergo any kind of concussion testing there on the sideline? And did you talk to him about sliding? Because it looked like he started to slide after that.
Yeah, and we talked to him before that too. You know, and I think on that, I have to go back and look. I think he was sliding. No, and I talked to him after that. He had a cut on his lip there, so they were looking at that and everything like that. I think that's what they're doing right now. But like I told you, I mean, everything was good. You know, talking to him, you know, what he thought about, you know, the next couple series or the next couple plays, you know, because we were down there in the red zone at that time. So like, hey, we'll sequence this a little bit. And then we had a couple little razzle-dazzles in there before we got him back in the mix. So I think everything was, from that point, you know, it was rocking and rolling after that.
He did a better job sliding after that.
Yeah, he did. And, you know, I think, you know, and going into the game, he's really done that. You know, I don't know, I can't really replay it in my head, the end of it there of where it came from and where he took the shot. But I think he was trying to go down, just get a little bit late, you know, when you go down like that. But he's got that baseball slide down, and some guys can do it, and he's really got it. So we'll continue to keep utilizing that.
How have you seen, you know, when it comes to Jay, get himself in a position to take on that type of workload? And then also, do you think perception has kind of changed when it comes to the running back position, where a lot of people use 2, 3, whatever, but it doesn't mean you just can't use one?
Yeah, I mean, I think the big question is, you know, you'd like to have that 3-man rotation and all that, and, you know, the bottom line is it comes down to production. So, you know, he's been productive. More guys are going to emerge. When that happens, I don't know. You know, but Jay's a guy that, you know, and it's not just in the run game. You know, I mean, you look at that, it's not just those physical plays there. I mean, he's catching the ball out of the backfield. What you see from Jay, what kind of makes it more fun now is he's more of a complete player. He's a guy that's a threat out of the backfield in the pass game. He's obviously a threat in the run game out of the backfield, inside, outside, power, zones, those type of things. And that gives us a lot of versatility on offense. You know, he's a guy that you have to pay attention to and know where he's at, and then you're able to do some different things off of it. So, you know, more guys will keep emerging. You know, be more production there. But, no, to answer your question, no, you don't. What you got to do is find guys that are going to make plays, and they continue to make plays. You give those guys the ball because they're playmakers, and that's how you go win games.
You mentioned Austin and Matt, and you coached every one of those catches by Austin Pettis and been with Matt a decent amount. How do those two compare, and, you know, how maybe they differ in what they've done in their careers?
Well, they're no different as far as how smart they are. You know, I always thought Pettis was a guy that, you know, I didn't worry about. He was dialed. There wasn't going to be a week where he came in there and said, what am I doing? You know, at any point in the game, and Matt's no different. Both their styles are similar. They're both big guys. They both go up and make the plays. They both understand where they are spacing on the field. So there's probably a whole lot more similarities there when I start watching more of Matt and remembering how, you know, Pettis played, and equally as competitive. So those two guys, I mean, there's not a whole lot of separation in those two. And I mean, look at the numbers. You know, I mean, you can see kind of how, you know, in our offense and all that, how a guy like that, you know, emerges with having that many catches, and, you know, it's no different now. So, but I'm excited about Matt. You know, Matt's a senior, but he's getting better, you know, and he's still getting better within our system. And Coach Adams, you know, each and every week, you know, Matt's working on new things. It's not like he's a finished product. He still has to improve, and we still want him to get better. I mean, tonight was a night we tried to feature him over the middle. And he was able, I don't know if he caught 2 or 3 over the middle, but that's what we were trying to get done, and he found a way to get it done, and Grant felt confident in it. And we were able to kind of own the middle of the field, which opens up a lot of the outside stuff.
So run down the list here, quick update all you can. So Dion, Maston, Page, Odiombo, Peters, Douglas. Any updates on any of those guys?
I don't know the ones you mentioned, other than you know, we'll hopefully have maybe some more information on Peters, but we'll talk about that on Monday. And then the other was, until we have our meeting tomorrow, I won't know exactly what their situation is. They didn't finish the game tonight, We've had that before. What does that mean? Does that mean they're not going to do anything tomorrow and Monday? Because really Sunday and Monday, we'll do some work on Sunday. Monday's off. You know, are they back ready to go on Tuesday? Like to have guys back by Wednesday. You know, I'd like to see guys in there doing something on Wednesday, and then they've got to be able to practice on Thursday. You know, unless we're in some situation where regardless we have to have somebody out there. You know, you want to see a guy out there getting reps on Thursday through the whole practice. And so we evaluate it like that. And they may not be ready to go Tuesday, but they might be ready to go Wednesday, Thursday. If that's the case, then they'll be ready to go for the game.
Mercy was out tonight, is that right?
Mercy's out, yeah. And Mercy will be out. Mercy will be out for 5 weeks. Okay?
What happened?
Ankle. Good? Okay.
Congratulations.